Onside is an app and website developed by Synlait founder Juliet McLean with Ryan Higgs and Michael Falconer. Nearly 1,000 farms are using Onside to manage and comply with health and safety requirements.
It's paperless and mobile, and we've made it easy to use. There's two parts of it. There's a web component and an app component. So the web's where you do a lot of the setup, and then the app's what you kind of use on a day-to-day basis. So the web, and you do some of the admin and those sorts of things on the web. So the way it works is it's got a virtual boundary around a property, and within that boundary there are risks which are marked on a satellite image map. Behind the risks is information, so you've got the location of it, you've got some photos and some brief information that's easy to consume for both the farm team but then also visitors, so people that are coming and going, particularly contractors and anyone that's on a farm for work.
Short description of dairy farm.
Yep. We've made it really easy to set up, so all you need to do is type in your address and that'll bring up your property based on the Google Maps system. We've got all the LINS titles in the background, so all you need to do is just click on your farm and a boundary will pop up. And from there we've got templates and preloaded risks, so you can just pick and choose the ones that you've got that are relevant to you, fill out a little bit of specific information, and then you're good to go. Click on the farm, so you can click the ones that it's got. The key is it's living and breathing, so when they put risks on the risk register, people that come and go are made aware of those. We try to keep it really relevant, so when you've seen a risk, it doesn't show you again, so it remembers what you've seen, so you only see new things. You can update risks any time, and then that'll update people on the farm. If you add a risk when people are on the farm, there's a whole lot of alerting that goes on. So if someone reports a risk on the mobile app, the farm management will be alerted so that they can take a look and put controls in place to manage the risk. When someone arrives on the property, the app automatically knows they're there. So it'll just pop up and say, hey, you've arrived at so-and-so's farm. We need you to review the risks and log in. So they can just go through those, and then when they acknowledge and log in, then it'll make the farmer aware that they're there. So there's a full history of who's been on the farm. Anyone can report a risk. So I think one of the key parts of the new legislation is that everyone needs to be involved and engaged. So it doesn't matter whether you're the farmer, the farm team, or just a visitor, everyone can report a risk or an incident. And it's right there on your mobile, so you can do it right when you see it. So if you have to go back to the office or remember to write it on a piece of paper later, it just doesn't happen. So the key is that you can report stuff right when you see it. We built full offline capability into the system. The connection's getting better around the place, but there's lots of places that still don't have cellular network connection, so the app works fully offline. So if you're out and about and you report a risk, it's stored locally on the device, and then when it gets back into connection, it gets pushed up. We offer a free setup for people, so they can just call us and we'll help them get it set up. And then the service from there is a monthly per user fee, so it's $10 a user a month. The app just sits there nice and quietly in the background, so you just leave it running. We've designed it to be really efficient on battery and also data, so it doesn't burn battery or data. So you just leave it running, and then when you arrive at a farm that has a geofence around it or an Onside is logged into the Onside system, the app will automatically prompt you, it'll send you an alert and say, hey, you're at so-and-so's farm, you need to check out the risks. So then you can just go through those, you see the location, the photos, and then you sign in.
We're agricultural contractors, and we have in the season 60 plus employees. We harvest and plant maize and grass silage and bale and spray around the Waikato region. We also have a farming operation of over 1,000 hectares of about 50 different blocks around the Waikato. When we went to ISOfication, we did a whole lot of documenting stuff and putting processes in health and safety. So it didn't really change a whole lot in our contracting field. But when all the farmers started having to document everything on the farms and all the rest of it, it became quite a massive undertaking to try and coordinate everybody's health and safety plans and processes into keeping everybody safe on everybody's different farms.
And as James is going?
Our responsibility is to make sure our guys are trained, are aware of the hazards and keep them safe on the job. Farmers' responsibility is to keep them safe on their farm, by identifying hazards and making sure that we have the policies in place. We were looking at our job management software, which prints out job cards for the drivers and all the rest of it. We're putting that onto devices that they have, phones or iPads, where we send the job to the driver. And when we were developing this process, I wanted to have health and safety questions for each job so that the driver could say, I have checked the machine over, I have looked for hazards, I'm aware of the hazards. At the same time we were doing that, we were faced with a situation. We had 50 farms of our own that we needed to document all the hazards and try and keep everybody safe and aware of what's going on there. And with Lindy managing that on her own, and some blocks were 2 hectares to 100 hectares, it's very hard when you've got a whole lot of people working everywhere to sign everybody in and out and get everybody inducted on every job. So that's when Onside came to mind about the software, and I contacted them. So we were quite excited about what that meant for our lease blocks, that we could, have everybody that works for us get a farm map on their phone and show the hazards and be able to report any incidents or hazards with us. We knew when they were on the farm or off the farm, and Lindy could do that from the office or wherever she was, or I could do that. It would be a great solution for us and for them if we promoted or tried to help our customers go onto Onside as well. So that kept our drivers safe while they were on their farm, or safer knowing that, and it solved a problem for our customers.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.